So here I am again, Micro Center, and I just made a little purchase right here, HP all-in-one PC, and this is the G020 model, and bought this, gonna set it up, and make a little review about it. If you're wondering why I don't have a shopping cart, it's because these goddamn things have these stupid magnetic locks. And when you're in a parking lot, they shut off, and then it's really stupid. So the system comes, they've done their best to try to replicate what Apple Macintosh does. And it's a good looking system. I've already seen it a couple of times. So I'm gonna set it up right now. Upon starting this system, there is about a 4 GB download that needs to be downloaded, and you know, over typical FiOS connections, it doesn't really take that long. And since this is a 1 TB hard drive, 4 GB is pretty much something you'll never actually notice or miss. I think the accessible amount of the hard drive is still over 900 GB. So, you know, formatting, when you take into account Windows 10 being already on the system, is not really such a big deal. So you're going to still have 900 GB worth of space, and in time you'll be able to install a super speed hard drive on the cheap that'll be 4 TB for less than $100. And you know, every single passing year, hard drive sizes get larger and cheaper at the same time. Eventually you'll be able to just get an SSD. So overall, what's great about this system is the fact that it has a touchscreen. It has a relatively powerful AMD processor, which is on par with the Intel i3, and it looks great. It's kind of like the Hewlett-Packard version of a Mac. I have a problem with the size of the mouse. What I do have a problem with is the size of the keyboard. This is an older keyboard that I love using, and I like this model. It came off of a Pavilion that I bought a while ago. But this is the new keyboard, and as you can see, this new keyboard doesn't have the same length, and it doesn't have the same width as the old keyboard. So that's why I'm keeping this keyboard in plastic, unless, you know, the person wants to actually use it. But if she doesn't want to use it, I'm going to keep the old keyboard because it's just so much bigger and it's easier to type on. It's a little bit, you know, ergonomically friendly. For the average person, this computer would be relatively perfect if all you need to do is use it as a workspace for your desk or for your home office, or if you need it for a web browser. Now, first of all, you know that I trash on AMD all the time. I don't really prefer to buy AMD products at all. However, AMD's products typically are used in, you know, budget computer sales. And I pretty much try to steer people away from AMD processors, and I try to steer people towards Intel. But the simple fact of the matter is, some people figure, oh, well, I don't need all that extra power because I'm only using this thing for, like, you know, something simple like web browsing, or say something just really silly, you know, like Microsoft Office. Let's say I like saying Microsoft Office because the vast majority of people buying a computer now, if they're not just using it for the internet, they're using it for Microsoft Office, whether it's Microsoft Word or PowerPoint. I really don't think a lot of people use Access as much anymore. Excel is a big one because, you know, a lot of students have to use that. So the problem with this computer, and I'm not going to say it's a problem, because the thing about it is you can have these things built to spec and it's just going to cost you a bit more. In my opinion, this computer shouldn't only come with 8 GB of RAM. It's DDR3 memory. There's no reason why in 2017 that they can't upgrade this thing to 16 GB. So I was just going to show you the specs like I usually do. So one thing I can also do is demonstrate, obviously, the touchscreen, and I really like the fact that this thing has the touchscreen because it gives you an option of how to interact with the computer. But let's say I wanted to play Call of Duty Remastered. Obviously, the big problem is going to be that this thing does not have a video card. If you wanted a video card in an all-in-one, it is possible to get it, but it's going to cost you closer to $1,000, definitely over $1,000 if you get, you know, one of the better screens. And this screen looks great, and it's exactly what you'd expect. And I like the fact that it's nice and big and wide. You know, so let's just take a quick look at what happens when the hardware detection is done. I know I won't be able to play this game specifically because there's no graphic GPU. What I can also say is most new games require you to have a little bit better than 8 gigabytes of RAM. But 8 gigabytes is about that's like the bare minimum at this point. Every couple of years, the internet adds so much more shit that you end up having a situation where you have to upgrade your computer because your old computer usually may not have the memory to run all of those newer features anymore. And your processor needs to be better, and so forth and so on. So basically every 4 or 5 years you're gonna have to upgrade a computer anyway. As you can see, there is no video card, so that's part of the bare minimum of trying to play something like Call of Duty. It required a GTS 450 as a minimum with 1 gigabyte of RAM. Call of Duty isn't really a graphic intensive game. Newer games like Arma 3 and you know, like what is it, what's the newest thing out, like, you know, like The Witcher, things like that, you're gonna need a lot more power, so you're gonna probably want to get one of these things with a GeForce 1070, and you could get it with a 1060, a 1070, or a 1080 if you want. Buy it direct off of Hewlett-Packard's website. Some people would say, oh, well, I don't want an all-in-one because if I buy the larger case, I have the ability to change parts at will. As you can also see, the CPU, that AMD nonsense, doesn't necessarily meet their requirements. And the Intel Core i3 I also avoid. I think you really shouldn't get anything less than an i5 if you plan on playing games, but honestly I would force you into an i7 and just say, hey, you know, put it on your credit card and just take peanut butter sandwiches to lunch, and you know, you'll pay yourself back eventually. CPU speed is okay as far as clock cycles. However, most newer games require more threads and more cores because in fact they require more cores for their CPUs more than they require memory. 8 gigabytes of memory is fine. As you can see, 6 is pretty much all you really needed. And the operating system checks out and so forth and so on. So really the only problem is the fact that this is a low-end processor that's not designed for video games, and the GPU is not designed for video games. So I know the question half of you jerk-offs want to ask is, oh, can it play Minecraft? Can it play Minecraft? So let's see. Type Minecraft. Can it play Minecraft? I know it probably could. Minecraft doesn't require a 3D accelerator from what I know. So Minecraft story mode. Yeah, there's so many of these stupid things. Okay, so Minecraft, yes, you can play Minecraft on it. I don't know how many people are still playing Minecraft, but yeah, you can play Minecraft. So that's not a problem. Let's say, can it play Counter-Strike Go? That's another big game that a lot of you still play. Nothing wrong with that. I like Counter-Strike Go. Global Offensive. Counter-Strike Global Offensive. Recommended it doesn't meet, but it does meet the minimum. Counter-Strike was never a very, very demanding game, but to tell you the God's honest truth, I hate Counter-Strike Go. I really prefer the basic Counter-Strike 1.6 from the, you know, from years ago, because it runs on any computer that you have now, including a Pentium 2 450 megahertz, which pretty much nobody uses anymore. But everything pretty much checks out. And you can play Counter-Strike Go on this computer. I'm not gonna really demonstrate that because you know, this is a workstation computer. So you know, basically that's what you're looking at. If you want to play games that do not require a 3D accelerator, this computer will pretty much meet your requirements. And I do love the fact that you know, you can pinch to zoom, or you can, you know, scroll and whatnot. Certain things can be pinched to zoom, some things can. Apparently this page doesn't have it. Or like you can say, yeah, I want to buy something now, I'm not going to buy shit. Oh yeah, this is on Steam. I use Steam on my desktop because I have a Core i7 7700 and what is it, a Titan X running like 3 monitors. I have a 4th monitor, but I just didn't have the space to put it up yet. But a lot of Steam games that don't require a 3D accelerator, you'll be fine. That's all good. There was one other thing I was going to explain. As far as things I don't like about this computer, the main thing that I kind of don't like about this computer, and I already said, is the keyboard's too small. I wanted to have the keyboard that it came with to be bigger. But when I think about that, another problem that I have is the fact that all of the USB ports are in the back of the system. So, you look at the back of the system, you only get 4 USB ports. So that means that anytime you want to do anything, you got to go to the back of the system. So you got the 2 super speeds and you got the 2 regular USB ports. Here's a question. You knew that people were going to plug a keyboard into this thing. Why not put USB ports on the keyboard just so people be able to plug in their thumb drives? Or why not have one of those yellow always on or red always on ports so people could charge their mobile device while they're syncing it to this computer? So it's a little inaccessible, but when you really think about it, this kind of computer is really a desktop. And if this is a desktop workstation, as you can see, that's the CD drive. It's a laptop CD drive in order to make it thin. But my thing is, if you knew that this is a workstation computer design, and people are going to be able to stand up and look behind it when they get up from their desk, that's all good. But my problem is, I feel that you could have put USB ports on the keyboard itself. I really think you could have done that. So basically the only option is to buy a USB hub and to use that USB hub to supplement the USB ports that you get. You only get 4. The other issue I had is the power button. If you look right here, they have a little sticker right here that shows you where approximately you're supposed to touch to get to the power button. The power button is right here. It's a little button right here. I don't think there's any other buttons here, but since you can't see under the computer when it's sitting there, you wouldn't know. So in order to turn it on and off by hitting the power button, you have to reach right here. Now, most of these new computer designs, especially when they're running Windows 10 or OS X, they're designed to want to stay on. You put them to sleep, you put them into hibernation, but they're designed to stay on until like you just nudge or touch the keyboard or the mouse. So basically, Hewlett-Packard, copying Apple, for whatever reason decided, okay, we're going to hide the power button and we're going to put it in a way where you really, won't really notice it. There's nothing necessarily wrong with that, but my problem is, you see that the little light, the indicator light, the power light, is also so small and unnoticeable that knowing that you have to reach under that power light in order to get to the power button, it's kind of hard to notice where that power light actually is because it blends right in with the rest of the speaker grill. So because they don't have a symbol that shows exactly where the power button is aside from this sticker which comes off, it's not a deal killer or anything. It's just that I'm really surprised that Hewlett-Packard didn't, because usually the way they do it is they put their power button someplace very noticeable. Like they would have put it right here under the HP sign. In fact, they could have made it the HP sign and they could have put the HP sign right down here and made it a push button for power. Because you think about it, if a computer ever hard freezes, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to want to try to unfreeze it by pushing the button, holding the button, and making it hard reset. Thing about it is, if you don't know exactly what a power button is, let's imagine you just didn't understand this computer completely, you'd probably be left to just pull the plug out, and you wouldn't really want to do that. So, overall, this is a great effort by Hewlett-Packard. This computer all-in-one design actually replaces another design that they had. So this actually replaces another design that they had. And it's a great system. It's specifically for people who want to do work on their home office. And basically that's it. I mean, there's not a whole lot to talk about. The initial reliability of these devices is pretty good. I've read some reviews and some people said they had problems with them overheating, but they bought theirs open box. As you know, I bought mine brand new. And this is only going to be used for Microsoft Word. The 1 terabyte hard drive is fantastic, but you think about it, let's say you needed an external hard drive, well now you're stuck to, you know, you have to get a 3.0 USB hub just so you'd be able to add on, you know, more USB devices. So 1 terabyte's gonna last for a real long time, so I'm not worried about that. Yeah, this asshole Johnny Depp. And you know what's sad? I like Johnny Depp, but for you to attack the president and say some shit like that, you should have known Secret Service is gonna come knock on your door, turkey. So all I'm saying is that, you know, if you are a person who needs lots of USB devices, you're definitely gonna wanna buy a USB hub if you purchase this model computer. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people are looking up reviews on this computer because they're not sure whether or not they should get it. If you're just a student or you're just doing work with Microsoft Office, word processing, this is the kind of computer you want to buy because it saves lots of space and it looks good. It's a cute looking computer. It saves space. Anybody who sees it at first because it's white, they're going to assume it's an Apple computer. And ultimately, this is a good buy. There are larger models for over $1,200 that have stretchy screens that go to like 34 inches. I didn't need all that for the purpose that I'm going to use this one for. Thus far, the person I bought it for is very happy with it. Thus far, the person I bought it for is really thankful that I purchased this model. And as you know, I pretty much purchase all HP products because I really like their products. And I do like the quality control, and I like the fact that if I call up HEWLETT-PACKARD, pretty much I don't have any problem getting anything warranty or fixed or whatever. They don't give me a problem. And that's basically it. So if you have any questions about this model, the G020, if you have any questions about this model, all you have to do is ask. But if you're already familiar with Windows 10, you pretty much already know what to expect.